Broadcasting across Australia on Dare Media Group radio stations, this is the Sportcat Show, uncovering secret chapters, strange encounters,
and the occasional technical mishap.
Yeah, that's right. Well, greetings from Atlanta. How is everyone? Sportcat here. Let's start this over again. Hello, everybody. Greetings from Atlanta. We are live tonight, and we will be live on WZQR and WRFN later. Thank you all for tuning in. This is the Sportcat Show, formerly known as the Paranormal Guys. So yeah, I'm back in Atlanta, and the only homework assignment I have to give you all is this will be our last show on Radio X Country. So all of our listeners that are listening on Radio X Country, make sure to come over and catch us on Dare Talk Radio in Australia. So let me bring my beautiful and wonderful co-host out, Jen. Hello, Jen.
Hello. How am I doing? I am doing better. Everything is good.
Good.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell everybody, come over and join the live chat. We got a live chat. Denise is here. Denise, we haven't seen you in a long time. Missed you. Chris is here. Chris, keep me on my toes to find out what secret we can get from her tonight. So from you, Jen. So
yeah, I don't know whether to be flattered or scared that Chris is thinking about me when he's at the gym.
Well, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. So, so everybody, we always have guests back if they're good to us and they like us. Sometimes they do. So in this case, Liisa likes us. You'll recognize her. She's a Finnish-Canadian author that's written several. She introduced me to the term cozy. I didn't know what that was before I met you. So hello, Liisa. How are you tonight?
I'm great. Nice to be back. Nice to see you both.
We're glad
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Pardon me while I push buttons and figure out how to use this computer. So
amazing.
So yeah, when was the last time you were on with us, Liisa?
I was trying to think about that. It's been several months at least. I should have checked, but it feels like, the months have just rolled on. I don't know what's going on with time.
Right?
It's crazy.
My grandfather used to have this saying that life was like a roll of toilet paper. When you start out, you feel like you got a lot, but then as you get to the end of the roll, it goes away faster and faster, and then eventually you're like, oh no, what?
Oh, no.
What do I do now? Oh crap!
Coming to the end.
Pun intended.
I love it. So great.
That's true. That's what I always used to tell him. I've only got so many heartbeats, so I'm not going to run. So.
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it was winter, or I think it was cooler when
I feel like I remember. Yes, 100%, because it's actually still light here. Not like it's dusk. We've got the sun setting, but I remember it being like dark and really I felt so late, and now I'm like, oh, 9 p.m. Eastern isn't that late.
Yeah.
Depends on the season.
I started in January, and I think it was January or February that you were on.
That sounds about right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was thinking she's going to say dark and dreary. I was like, God, you sound like Mrs. Sportcat. So.
Well, January in Northern Ontario, I can't tell a lie. It can be a little dark and dreary and cold.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah, the sun is. You get up before the sun rises, and you spend all day at work, and then you come out of the office, and it's evening dark outside, and so you don't see the sun for like 3 months.
Yeah, it's tough, but we're at the other
side. Like visitation rates. Yeah, right. Exactly.
If it's any consolation, our president's going to fix it, so we'll all have one time zone. I don't know what the hell time zone it'll be, but we're going to only have one. So.
Well, you know what? Like, it's okay. You guys can all be Canadian. I'm okay with that. Welcome over.
Okay. At this point, what the hell? I might take it. So I just thought about that. We're going to be on Trump Standard Time. That's what it's going to be.
I don't know how you set your watch to that. That's going to be complicated.
Yeah.
You get about one watch from China, and that's the only one you can use.
That's right.
I think Russia does that, don't they? Where they have just one time zone. They take up like almost half of a hemisphere or third of a hemisphere, but they have one time zone. So it could be the middle of the night, but it's actually like in the afternoon in the one end.
Yeah. I just don't even know. I have a hard enough time already with, the time zones and just getting the regular, like, wake up and go to sleep times. Forget about it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. And some places, like I think in Arizona, the only reason I know this is I was trying to look up the time zone because I have, somebody I'm meeting in Arizona, and they're in Tempe, Arizona, which, as far as I know, is a different time zone from Phoenix, Arizona. So it's different. Maybe that's like right on the border or something.
Maybe
somewhere in Arizona they protested at some point in time, and they only change time. Like, no, they don't change time. I'm sorry, they don't change it at all. So
okay, maybe that was it.
And yeah, it's weird. And I think that's the one we're going to go to. So because they've got it, they figured it out before we did. So
okay.
I think there would be a lot of tired moms that'll be happy to not have to change the time.
Yeah, 100%. That's very true. It is an issue, right? Like, and it messes us up, and I don't know, accident rates rise over those days, and
heart attacks, strokes, all those things. Yeah, in the week, I think it's like a week or two after the time changes.
Yeah, not good.
And if you work a 24-hour shift, you get 1 hour unpaid.
But if you think about it,
you know about that.
If you think about it, if you're flying from eastern coast to the western coast, you're a time traveler. You're going back in time.
Ooh, you are. It's very true.
Yeah.
It's real.
I never was so confused in my life as when I worked on the Learjet, because I would start in Atlanta, go to Mobile, then to Boston, then to California, and then down to Arizona. And then, because the pilots can fly 12 hours, 10 hours, but we, as long as they roll the pilots, they can keep us going. And so I ended up one time somewhere down in the islands, and it was like the day before Christmas Eve, and I was like, what time is it? It's dark.
Crazy.
If I didn't have my cell phone, which connects to the internet, I wouldn't have any idea what time it is. And I don't even remember when the time zone changes are. I just set my alarm and I look at my clock. It's like, oh, it's earlier than I thought.
Yeah, it's true. Back in the day, we had to go manually change all the clocks.
And I know.
And check for the, in Canada, it was the CBC radio. It would chime on the hour, so you would know it was.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember that that's when you keep all the instruction manuals, and you felt like you were like disarming a bomb or something, trying to reset your clock.
How hard can it be?
I think ours was NBC radio. It would do it top of the hour, ding, ding, ding. I think that's NBC.
Yeah.
So
that tone, the tone that they play is ingrained in our skulls.
That's right, for sure.
Yeah, it's funny we talk about that. I actually just read story about time, and if you watch my daytime show, we always every day lose and gain time. It's the weirdest thing, but they just invented a nuclear powered quantum timepiece, and it is now going to be the standard for the US. And I'm like, that just scares the hell out of me. It's nuclear powered. It'll never go off. It's quantum. We don't even know what that is yet.
That's a scary idea. I mean, can you imagine how expensive a watch would be?
No kidding, right? But it's great. It's great fodder for sci-fi fiction, right? Like, you can just like click, 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 and off you're gone to some other dimension or some other planet. Great.
Iron Man.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Well, Liisa, I love having you here, but I don't want to take up all of your time just BSing, because I know you have got some exciting projects going on. So tell us about them. I mean,
for sure.
All be about me. I know. It's just about Jen.
Yeah. There's so much going on right now that I have to, every day I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be working on today? Because the list is so long. But so as you know, I think we've talked about this before. I have a cozy mystery series called the Hygge House Cozy Mystery Series. Book 1 and 2 are out. Book 3 is coming out in August. And I'm madly starting to plan book 4. So that's been really, really fun. So that's kind of the, most top of mind thing that's going on. But I do have some other projects underway and some other, another historical novel that I'm planning to put out, hopefully before Christmas, but we'll see. So lots happening. It's just been a crazy writing life lately, but it's fun.
Yeah. Do you write more than one book at a time? In other words, you're writing book A and then you just do book B as well?
Yes. Yes. I'm one of those crazy people who it kind of works for me. I don't know that it would work for everyone's brain, but I like having one that I'm planning, one that I'm working on, and one that I'm in a revision stage. That works for me because I can move from one to the other. And sometimes one will take over. Like if I have a deadline and edits have to happen, I'm focused on that. And if, right now my book is with the editor, so I kind of have a break from it for a bit. So I'm kind of diving deeper into other things. So it depends on what's going on at any given time, but I like to be able to pivot because there's no point at where I'm like, oh, I'm stuck, or I don't get writer's block. I don't have time. I just go to if that something's not working here, I'm just going to pivot to this other project for a while, and then I can move back. Jen, do you work on more than one project at a time?
I was totally agreeing with the whole, once your book is done and it's at the editors, you have a break. And that's usually when I start my next one.
Yes.
And I'll work on that, work mad. And then I'll get the email back from my editor. Oh, that's going away. Now I'm focused on this. And then once that's done, I can continue on. But I do have a couple that I'm planning, but I'm very linear. So I don't feel like I can do more than one project. I only have so many hours in the day, and kids kind of steal a lot of that. So.
That's right. I'm fortunate. My kids are older. Like they're out of one's home now, but they're both graduated from university. They're doing their things. So that changes your life, right? When your kids are like, you're an empty nester, essentially. Your time becomes your own in a little bit different way than when you have kids around. So I mean, I didn't quite do this many projects at a time when I had young kids because I was working full time and writing. So I was more focused on one project at a time. But now I'm like, it feels like I'm all over the place, but it's structured. I feel like I'm moving everything forward.
Do you struggle when you're in the editing phase and at some point we're all in the editing phase, and then you send that to the editor, or you get something back and then you send it back. Do you struggle going back to creative mode and not editing as you're writing the new projects?
No, I think it's because I've been doing this sort of many projects going at the same time that I don't my day is not really structured per se, but like I'll spend some time editing and then I'll spend some time writing and I'll spend some time, imagining the next story and maybe writing ideas down. So I'm constantly going back and forth. So it doesn't stall me out when that happens. I know what you mean, but yeah, for sure. That's a very big possibility, especially if you're working on kind of the one project and then it's like, oh, can't even.
Yes. And I mean, like I don't know about you, but sometimes, so I really almost wish that I had other projects that I could do at the same time, because I got stuck on this chapter and it's taken me a week and a half to finish it. And it's not even that long of a chapter, but I can't turn my editing brain off. And then, I sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm going to write today. And I get and I'm like,
right.
Because I got a million other things to deal with. So.
One more word.
Yes. I think I get like a line a day.
Yeah. I think one of the things that, if you're a linear writer, that is going to be a problem. But I think one of the things that works really well, if you can let yourself do it, which is hard for some people, to just let that scene be and write the next scene, or write a scene from farther down. And that way you're like, creating, and then your brain is still working on the problem that scene was creating for you. And then when you go back to it, like somehow, oh, it solved itself. Like, why was I finding this so hard? But in the moment, it just feels like, oh, I can't get forward. So, if you can skip it and go to something else and then come back, sometimes.
Yeah. I've very seldom can I do that because I'm like, again, very linear, but I'm using a different program that divides everything into chapters. So instead of being one long Word document where I'd have to like, okay, enter. Okay, let's start writing the next chapter and we'll just insert it later. I'm using a program called Scrivener, which kind of divides things into chapters. And then I can like do a little Post-it note and say, okay, this chapter's not done. And move on to the next. Because sometimes you have to be in a different mood.
Move them so easily in Scrivener too, which is great. Yes. I have Scrivener before and it's a great program.
Oh yeah. And I just learned how to highlight and make a bookmark note for myself as well.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, that was a game changer. Why didn't I figure that one out first?
Yeah. So good. Yeah. Very useful. Yeah.
You guys give me brain freeze just talking about how many projects at once. I can't chew gum and walk. What are you talking about? Jen actually give me
rub your belly and pat your head.
That's right.
Jen actually gave me a hint. I was like 2 weeks ago because I've been working on a novel and I've been stuck. And she's like, well, just go to another chapter. And I'm like, well, I haven't wrote one. Because I was thinking you had to start at A and end at Z, but I didn't know I could jump around and go do.
Well, I think you were also saying you also had the question too about like you're not sure how much detail to put into things, and I think that's what some people struggle with. Yeah. And I was told by an editor that it's easier to take things out than it is to put something in. So put in that stuff. Write what you feel. They'll just take it out if it's unnecessary.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what they're paid for.
Yeah, I mean, there's two kind of thoughts there. Like overwriting, like some people just write so much, they overwrite it, and then you can scale back and remove, change, delete it, whatever you're going to do. Yes. And some people do like the first pass is really, really bare bones, and then the next pass is like, okay, I'm inserting a dialogue. The next pass is I'm inserting a description, like whatever order. I don't write like that, but for some people, that layering part works really well because that first draft can be as terrible as you want it to be. It doesn't matter. Like that first draft, just get it out and then you can play with it. And the first chapter you write is probably not going to be your first chapter anyway. It's likely going to you might delete it, you might move it, you'll start the story somewhere else. So I just say like for that first draft, just go for it. And everything's going to change. It's all good.
Yeah. I know it is a difficult thing though for those linear writers because you're like, okay, I can't start B until I'm done A. Yes. And I'm not sure where A is going. Now I can't do anything.
Yeah.
You kind of almost freeze up.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. Do you outline?
I used to. I am sort of a hybrid pantser, plotter hybrid. So I used to do everything like seat of the pants. I knew where to start and middle. That's all. That's all I knew. The rest was filler. And as time's gone on and I've discovered Scrivener, and there's a lot more details now as I go deeper into my series that I'm making sticky notes to myself. Okay, this chapter is about this character and this character, and this is what they're doing. And then I give myself room to fill it in.
Smart. Yeah. I like that a lot. I've done all the things too. I've pantsed it right from the beginning to the end. I've plotted, I've done detailed plots, I've done sketchy little plots. But I'm finding depending on the project too, right? Like for Cozy Mysteries, I personally like to know exactly how it's going to end and where I'm headed. And then I can pants throughout it. But basically I know the main points and where I'm headed. So I feel good when I do that. Other people don't like to know how it's going to end and they'll just keep writing and to figure it out for themselves. And then they have to go fix everything. But for me, I like to know, and then I can seed all the things in as I'm writing. And that's really, really fun for me. So, but I find like planning really creative. Like some people find it like a little bit daunting and I'm like, no, it's so fun. Like everything.
It's almost like you get to it's almost like that's your rough draft when you're plotting it. So I'll grab my book and I'll make a note. Okay, this chapter, this is what's happening. And then here's the major points. Oh, I feel like I'm getting into the story. And it almost feels like when you really start writing it, you already know where it's going.
Yeah, I love that.
I did have a question. I'm sorry, Glenn. I am monopolizing the questions. I did have a question because I am not I've tried writing mysteries. I'm not against them. It's just I struggle with them, so it's not something I read a lot either. Maybe if I read more of them, then it would be different. But I always wondered if mystery writers figure out the ending first and work backwards, inserting the things. Kind of like when I'm doing like those maze puzzles. I can't go from the beginning to the end. I have to go backwards from the end to the beginning.
Yeah.
It's weird that way.
Well, I think it's probably different for everybody, but for me, so I know my characters, I know my town, and basically because the place is like Hygge House, which is an event center that has like a sort of a B&B, like a small place. So that allows me to bring new characters in all the time because there's a new event happening and new people coming, and because those are going to be your essential characters for the mystery. So I often will figure out who those people are that are coming and why they're coming to this place, and then who's going to die. And then I start thinking, okay, why who could be responsible for that? So then I have a cast of characters who could be suspects. And then I start to work out from there. Okay, well, this, and okay, that person actually has the best reason for killing him or her. And then I work it out. So I do work with the kind of the dead body first. Let's start with the dead person and then figure out why, what happened to get them to that place. So I know there are lots of mystery writers who don't do that at all. Like they will write the whole story to find out why. And I want to know beforehand. So I think it just depends on people's comfort level maybe, or for me, I like the plot. So for me, it's fine. Like I can weave in. It's like a spider web. Like you're weaving in all the characters, making all kinds of people look like they could be guilty, and they could be, and they have a legitimate reason, but also it's not them. So it's like diverting their attention away. So I find it really a fun process.
It's kind of like we were talking about superheroes earlier. It's kind of like Spider-Man when you said that. Okay, there's Bob. He's dead now. So I get it. I kind of like that. I don't know that I could write that way. Well, hell, I don't know that I can write. So I'm still learning.
I feel like you can, and you will. You just put your head to it.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm still in that. Gosh, I'm still in the baby stroller as far as that goes.
Okay, you're working on it. That's what I always tell people too. Is they're like, oh, it just seems so daunting, and I was like, all you need to do is write a sentence a day, and you're still making progress.
Yes, that's right.
And it just it seems so simple, but it's just not something that people think about.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's a really good point.
I messaged Jen one afternoon. I'm like, does it matter that I don't even think I'm writing the same book I started with?
It grows. It's like a plant. You don't know which way those branches are going to go.
That's very true. And I often have writers who I work with who think they're going to write this kind of book, and then as they're writing realize, oh, it's not actually historical fiction. It's actually like a Regency romance, or it's something else. Because you have this vision in your head, but when you start writing, it kind of takes a life of its own and becomes a whole other thing. And then you lean into that. Just go for it. Great. It's like, I mean, you got. I think it's really good to figure that out early on so that you can, readers have expectations about what kind of book they're going to pick up. So you don't want to be a mishmash of all the things. But if you're just experimenting at the beginning, for sure, just let it go and see where it's going to head. And then you can make decisions based on that later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I look back at my series that I have now, the rough draft for my first book, the series was completely different than what I have out there now. So
yeah, absolutely. I started out writing. I decided I wanted to write a mystery a few years back, and as I started writing it, I realized, oh, this is historical fiction. It's more literary fiction than mystery. But then I leaned into the fact that I had this mystery idea, but I thought, okay, let it be historical fiction, let it be literary, but it has a mystery embedded in it. And that book is out in the world and it's doing great. And, but I had to trust that it was okay to allow it to be that thing. Like it wasn't a traditional mystery. Okay, it's a historical mystery. It's got a different tone, a different pace. It's not what I intended to initially write, but I ended up being really happy with it. So I don't know. I think we have to trust our instincts a little too.
Yeah.
I like that. Now, in your, you were talking about happens in Airbnb. Is that right?
Yeah, it's so I was in Niagara on the Lake. So I don't know if you've been there, but it's this great little town. And I was driving with a friend. We were at a writing retreat actually, and we saw this gorgeous old house. I think it was built in 1886. And it was so beautiful and was on sale. And it was just in my head, I immediately thought, wouldn't that be a great place to have like guest stay, and then you could have events and small weddings and book clubs and poetry readings and just whatever, you know? And so as I was driving home from this retreat, the whole, like the series just downloaded. I was like, it's that house. That's the place. That's where it's set. I even got like, this is so crazy, but, I got the floor plans because the house was for sale. So I was able to download the floor plans, and I was able to see inside. Like they had those video tours and pictures of the interior. So obviously I've changed things, and I've, you know, I've done what I needed to do for the story. But essentially that house was the inspiration for Hygge House. And then I set it not in the same location. I moved it north, and I moved it into sort of a small fictional town called Lakewood. It's on the lake, and it's got forest behind it. So it's really encompassing nature and like all that Hygge ideals. But it's this grand old lady of a house that they're renovating bit by bit and making into this place where people can come for a B&B or come for a small wedding or whatever it is. And it's just so fun to have, like, I actually thought, oh, if I could just buy that house, but I don't think my husband would have been too pleased with me if I had come home and said, guess what? We're moving. And it had a ghost too, which I loved. So I have a ghost in this house because I'm like, you can't have a grand old house without a ghost. So I borrowed her for this series.
Nice. I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
You sound like an architect when you're talking about, like, I changed the layout and I moved the house from there to another place. And I'm sitting there thinking, you sound like an architect. And 2, what is hookah?
Okay. Oh, I love that question. So hygge is a Danish and Norwegian concept that means like coziness, comfort, contentment. So imagine yourself on like go back to January, and you were like, it's cold and dark, and you have a fireplace going, you've got a cozy blanket, you've got a cup of tea, maybe you have a good book, some candlelight, maybe some soft music. That atmosphere is hygge. Maybe some close friends hanging out, just feeling relaxed and comfortable and just like low key. So I called it Hygge House because I'm leaning into the Scandinavian and Nordic ideas that I love so much. I'm Finnish myself, and my character is half Finnish, half Norwegian, and her business partner is Swedish. So I get to pull in all these different characters with different backgrounds. And hygge is like the ideal of what they want the house to represent for guests. And then, so the first book is called Hygge and Homicide because on opening day, of course, what do they find on the doorstep? They find a dead body. So I love the idea that the title is like completely opposite, you know?
Very contrasting.
Exactly. Yes, so contrasting. It made me laugh. So I'm like, oh, that's the title.
Sounds like a great place, except for somebody dies every week. So.
Right? I know. I always think about those, Agatha Christie books and all the different small town mysteries. Like, how many murders can happen in the same small town? Like, really?
Yeah, but those, when they happen in a smaller town, they're big news.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah, 100%. Big news, and affects everybody, and everyone knows somebody, and everyone's small business is in jeopardy if tourists aren't going to come. And, so there's a ripple effect through the community. So very
nosy neighbors.
Oh, I know, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, the small town atmosphere. When I first moved to East Tennessee, and they were like, "Oh, everybody's really, they will come over and they'll give you fruit and vegetables and stuff." Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." And then after a while, I was thinking, they're just nosy. They're just nosy.
Yeah. They're peeking. They're doing like the what is it? That guy from Home Improvement, was it?
Yeah, from Alan and
peeking over the fence.
That's right.
I'll remember his name at like 2 a.m, and then I'll be let's jump back on.
Yeah, we 100% know who you mean, though. I can just picture him now. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm in Greater Sudbury, but I live in a small, what would have been, I don't know even what you would have called it, like a little township at some point. But now it's part of Greater Sudbury, and it's very small. And, like, I don't know everyone's name because we've only been here for, well, I shouldn't say only about 8 years, but like, I know my immediate people, but anyone who has an animal, anyone who walks their dog, well, you know the dog's name. Like, that's the first how you connect with the neighbors is if they have a dog.
It's like, I know your dog.
Yes, I know where you live and where your dog lives and what time you go for your walk.
I feel, when I used to do x-rays, that was the same thing. It's like, oh, well, hello, I can't remember you. And then I do their x-ray and it's like, I know you now.
I do now.
I recognize that fracture.
That's right. It's true.
Mrs. Sportcat did that. There was this guy, he lived down on the lake. We're 2 streets off the lake. And he would walk his dog, and she knew his dog's name. She'd give him treats. And she was always telling me about this huge, big dog. And so I happened to be here one day when they saw him walking down the street, and she was talking to him. And I'm going, do you not know who that is? He's a professional football player that gets paid millions of dollars, and you're talking to his dog.
I love that.
And here I'm like, hi.
He probably enjoyed that. It's like I'm being treated like a normal human now. That's my dog's getting all the attention. That's okay.
Yeah, he's probably thrilled with that, right? It just fits right into the neighborhood. No one's like fazed by his fame. Yes. That's so great. The dog. For me, I was like, hi, I'm Glenn. Were you feeling a little speechless?
I was like, he's cool.
Yeah, that's nice dog. Yeah. Okay. Hi.
Oh, great.
Little starstruck. So, I was going to say, Liisa, were you always a writer? I mean, you were a teacher in a past life, weren't you?
Yeah. I've been writing since I was little. Like, I was telling stories when I was a little kid, and I was drawing and telling stories to myself, and, as one does, and writing poetry as a preteen and all the things. So I've always been a writer in some form or other, but then I went to teachers college and became a teacher, and I taught English and creative writing at high school. And, like we were talking about earlier, I had kids, and I had work, and I had all these activities. And so I didn't focus on it really until I was 40. And that's when my mom called me and said, hey, somebody wants to write your father's story. And I said, oh, okay. And she said, well, I told them I'm going to, my daughter's going to do that. And so I thought, okay, here we go. I knew my dad had a story to tell, and I had always thought I wanted to write it, but we didn't do it. We were just doing the things. So he was ready and I was ready. And so at 40 is when I really, really started to focus in on writing, and went to unstudied creative writing at university. And, that sort of just changed the trajectory of my life, because I always wanted to write, but this is the moment where it was like, okay, we're doing it. And so I can, really thank him for that, because that book was like the most important book I'll ever write in my life. And he gave me that gift, and we have his story for the grandchildren and the great grandchildren. So I think that was amazing. But now I'm writing fiction, because that's kind of what I leaned into after writing that nonfiction piece, and still writing about Finnish people and Norwegians and Scandinavians and all the things in historical fiction and in the cozies. So, but he inspired it. So, yeah.
And somewhere along the way, you became a writing coach as well.
Yeah. So I left teaching in 2022. I'd been a teacher for 28 years, post-COVID, that, that whole time period teaching online was brutal. Got back in the classroom, had a really lovely time with great kids and just a really nice year. And at the end of that year, I'm like, okay, I'm good now. I'm done. And I left. So I left 5 years before I was supposed to retire. My husband wasn't so sure about it. It was a little, he's like, what about your pension? I'm like, I don't care. And I left teaching. I knew I was going to write, but I knew I wanted to work. I just wanted to do something else. And then I came across a program called Author Accelerator that trains book coaches. And I enrolled in that immediately. Like I had a friend actually who'd done the program. I didn't know that she'd done it. I'm like, is this for real? And she's like, yeah, it's great. And so I felt, okay, I'm going to go do this program. And it was so wonderful. And even though I taught English, even though I taught creative writing, even though I'd been, I wrote my dad's book and I'd written something else, I still learned so much from doing that work. So now I work with writers. And so my whole career now is all about the things I love to do, like writing and helping other writers and all book related things. It's so fun. Like, who knew you could have fun with your career? I liked teaching in many ways, but completely different, right? Like it's a whole other time in my life. Love it.
Yeah, I don't know who said it, but if you do what you love, then you'll never have to work a day in your life.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's kind of like that, and it's not to say that it's easy, because anyone who's self-employed understands it's challenging. It's kind of a hustle. There's a zillion things to do, but my brain likes activity. It likes to keep things and organize and plan. And I liked that as a teacher too. I liked having lots of students and marking. Well, I don't love the marking part, let's be honest, but planning different classes, activities, and every day was different. So that is still happening in a different way. And I still get to lean into my love of teaching, but I'm working usually with a small group or individuals, and they're adults. So great. So nice.
Did you have a hard time doing the research for some of these things? Or I know as an English teacher, it might be hard to switch gears to historical stuff. Do you find that to be a problem?
No, because I actually studied history in university as well, and I love history. So I already had that sort of love of, learning and reading about the past and knowing how to, find information. So it was kind of a nice combination, English and history together. And then when I taught at high school, I was just teaching English, but I still loved history and still read a ton. So yeah, the historical research can be daunting, and it's, those historical novels take years and years to write because of the research involved. But I love the research so much that I don't know, I love it. In fact, I have to remind myself, no, you got to stop researching. You got to start writing, because you just kind of go down these cool rabbit holes that will never end up in the book, but they're so neat. I want to know more. So for me, it's a pleasure when I'm writing historical. But the cozies are fun too, because I don't have to do as much research, and that's fun too. And you can kind of get to the heart of the story really quickly. So it's just kind of different genres. I'm sort of interested in writing lots of different things because there's something lovely about each of them.
So would you say it's the research or the writing, the rough draft or the editing? What's your favorite part of writing?
Oh, that's such a hard question. I guess I can say my least favorite part is the first draft. I think a first draft is so hard. It's so I always try to just rush through a first draft, get it down. Because I like playing with it, but I love researching. I love planning. I like the plotting process is great. Revision is great. Editing is great. That first draft, that blank page, it can be a killer. So I think get it down, play with it. Then that part when I can revise and change and add and nothing's set in stone, that's a lot of freedom there. I love it. But I don't know, first drafts, maybe there are people out there that love them. I'm not sure, but I just find it hard. I'm I don't know. There's a lot of doubts creep in.
Yeah, I kind of like the first drafts because then I'm on that adventure and I haven't seen the end. If I don't plot it out first.
Yes.
but it's like, okay, this is the roller coaster. I'm on this ride and I don't know where it's going. But then when you get to the editing phase, you already know where it's done. You've read it over 1,000,000 times, and then you feel like you're just nitpicking words, and that's grueling for me.
Yeah, that can be near the end when you've been over and over and over it. That can get hard to just like, you're not actually changing. It's not really getting better. All you're doing is being like nitpicky about words and no one's going to notice. You're the only one. Like, that's when you're like, okay, it's somebody else's turn now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You kind of go cross-eyed after a while just looking at it. I mean, that's what editors are for.
That's why we have editors, so they can see it with fresh eyes and the things we can't see anymore on our own. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of love all the parts of the process, I guess, just the first.
They have their ups and downs. I think all of them do.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah. And I think different projects bring different challenges, like for sometimes something will just like the whole Hygge House idea came to me like on the drive from Niagara on the Lake to Sudbury, which is maybe 6 hours. It just all came to me. Whereas I've written historical novels where I've really been working through it and still been like, what is this story? Like, what am I trying to do here? And like, it's kind of plotting through it. So I think every project is presenting its own challenges, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that first blank page the scariest, most terrifying one?
Oh, yes.
I love how quickly you answered that. Oh, yes.
I mean, every page is terrifying, but that first page where you know what you need to do, you have to write those words now.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's like such a blank, and it's just like waiting for you to write something. And like you'll write that first phrase and then you're like, no. And you'll write you're like, no, delete. And you're like, it's almost like you almost have to skip the first couple pages and just start writing something else, because it's like you can get frozen there. If you're not.
Yeah. It's almost like it's taunting you. It's like, you know what you need to do, but you just don't want to get started. You just want to cut to the chase.
That's
write
right.
Those action scenes. That's all.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's so funny. I can imagine if there was a voice in the computer taunting you, it would be like, you think you can do this again, eh?
Yes. Well, I don't know about you, but I have to, like, when I start a new chapter and each chapter is its own separate document, I have to set the format, and that first line has to be not indented. That first paragraph is not indented. So I almost have to, like, I can't even get started until I write 2 paragraphs, which is silly because then aren't you starting? So I'll just write a bunch of gibberish and then enter gibberish, and then set the format. Go and start filling it in. Yeah.
No, I'm exactly like you. It has to be formatted correctly right from the top. And I know a lot of my writers, they'll be like, they don't really even, I teach them how to format it properly, but they'll be like, oh, I'll just do this. And it doesn't faze them. But my brain wants it to be like, not indented first paragraph and like the page break and all the things, double space, 12-point font, like all the things. I think, is it just me? No, but it's me and Jen.
Yeah. It's just kind of like you're running a race and somebody's thrown a shoe on the track.
That's right.
You just stumble.
Yeah,
or a stick or a rock or
that's right.
Yeah.
I love it.
When you're staring at that first blank page, have you ever thought, this is the time I'm going to write a science fiction or a Western or something different?
Well, I have this little idea that someday I'm going to write sci-fi, but I'm going to make it like Nordic inspired. Right? Ooh. Why wouldn't you do that?
I like it.
I don't know what that would look like, but I think that would be so fun. Every once in a while, I get these really strange ideas, and I think, oh, that would be so fun just to do it for, like, just for myself, right? Maybe one or two other readers will love it.
Is there any genre that you wouldn't write in?
I don't think I would write erotica. Not for me. No.
Spice isn't my jam either.
No, I don't want to do the spice. Somebody else can do that. Have fun. Do your thing. Great. Not for me. But no, I don't think there's any genre I wouldn't write in, because I think like at the end of the day, like, it's about character and it's about a person's transformation. So you can put them in space, or you can put them in the countryside, or you can put them in the past or the future, but it's about human beings and how they change and become somebody else, like a better version of themselves. Right. So like, I feel like story is story is story, wherever it's set, whether they're a cowboy or they're an astronaut or they're, a businesswoman or whatever, like it's those internal feelings that connect us all. So yeah, I kind of think any genre really, like right now, I love my historical. I love my cozies. Playing with some ideas for the future. We'll see where those head. But like you said earlier, there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah,
Sometimes I have to focus.
Well, Liisa, one of the things we ask every guest is about your spooky story. Now, you've already hinted that you had a ghost in your Airbnb. So what spooky stories inspired that, or have you got a spooky story?
Yeah. So the ghost that's in the house that the book is based on, her name is Fanny Rowley. So she has an interesting backstory. But what's happened in my own house is I have a kitchen with pot lights. And so, they're all fine. Like there's no problems. But when a light is the bulb is starting to die out, it starts to flicker and you're like, oh, it could be, I think there's a problem. Well, I was in the kitchen one day and my husband was cooking, which thankfully he loves to cook. So great. And I'm under one of these pot lights and it starts to flicker. And I think, oh, we should change that. And he notices too. And I moved into another part of the kitchen and that one stopped flickering and the next one started to flicker. And I'm like, whoa, that's weird. And so I kept changing locations in the kitchen and we watched as the flickering continued to move with me. Wherever I went, it flickered above me. And that was so strange. It wasn't scary, but it was like strange. So I thought that was weird. And then my kids were home. My daughter came home the other week. She was working from home and we're all in the kitchen and the flickering just went a little crazy just around where we were kind of congregated. And I thought, because there's nothing wrong with those light bulbs. They aren't old. They're not like, there's no problem. So I think there's somebody there who's just like, giving us a little nod. We see you looking out for us.
Not spoiler alert. Have you seen Stranger Things?
Ooh, that's a whole other energy right there. I have seen Stranger Things. This was the Stranger Things light or Stranger Things like cozy. Because I actually felt like it was nice. I felt like that was energy that was nice. And I felt like somebody is watching over us. And so it didn't give me the creeps, but it was definitely strange.
Yes.
When you first noticed it, did you verbalize it or was it up here?
The first one, I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I'm like, oh, I think that we need to change the light bulb. Like I just went straight to. But then when I moved to another place in the kitchen, that's when I was like, And then when it kind of followed me and I kind of zigzagged into different spots, like not quickly, I'd stand somewhere for a while, and it would flicker. And when my husband, who does not believe in any of this stuff, when he said, what's going on, then I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this is for real, because it's not just me thinking crazy ideas about it. He's noticing that there's a real pattern here and that it's following me, or it's like, yeah, I guess following me. So I don't know if my husband can be convinced. I feel like something's up.
Well, it's good to give you like a warm feeling that didn't give you the creeps. So that was good.
No creepy feelings. And, I've had some strange occurrences, but they've always been nice ones, like where I felt like that, like I do think it's my dad looking out for me. And
Aww.
I always do. The other weird thing that happens, I might have talked about this last time, is I see the number 14 all the time. I see it on the clock. I see it all over. And some people say, well, maybe it's just because you're connected to the number. That's why you see it. But I don't know. When you wake up at 4:14 in the morning, like, really? I just happen to see it. I don't know. And that was my father's lucky number. And I've been seeing, since he died in 2018, I've been seeing 4s and 14s all over the place. And again, not creepy, just like I even in my head, I say, hi, Dad, so it's kind of a nice thing. I feel like there's a connection there.
Lisa, where can anybody get your stuff? And remember, we have fans in Australia right now. We're live there.
Yeah.
Get your stuff. Where can they get your stuff?
Yeah, so absolutely. You can go to lisabacoach.com, all kinds of information about me and all the social media links. And the Hookah House Cozy Mystery Series is available on Amazon for sure, and in Australia for sure. And shout out to the Australians, because my husband's family is from Perth, Australia, and my niece is currently in Sydney. And so we have lots of connections in Australia. So I've traveled there lots, and it's been such a beautiful country. I can't wait to go back.
Oh, cool. Well, when you get some more books under your I don't know, as a belt or whatever. Will you come back and visit us again?
I would love that. Yeah. I would love that. Thank you.
I'm sitting here thinking, going, oh, how can I finish this sentence? But
that's okay. I'm sitting here going,
yeah. Well, you saw the hamster up there.
Yeah,
CB,
I saw the.
Before we get out of here, CB had some questions for you, sure. And I'm going to rapid fire them to you here. He wants to know if anybody thought of using astrology, and then he asked about if anybody had ever thought about using tarot cards for. So, what do you think?
I love those ideas. I love the idea of. I don't know if he's familiar with. Human design. Design's really interesting, and I think that makes for really, like, if you take your character and look at it from a human design perspective, that would be so fun to develop your character that way. I don't know.
I've done some like those online free like personality tests and kind of plugged in my character stuff just to see what comes out.
Yeah, so fun.
Yeah. Well, last week we had a guy that made killer tarot cards. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
From accident or serial killers. So, Lisa, I got to let you get out of here because, we're running out of time against Heartbreak. I really am glad you're on. And if anybody wants to get in touch with you, it probably won't be tonight. It'll be tomorrow or the next day. I'll get all your information in the show notes, and they can get in touch with you.
Amazing. Sounds great. It was so good to see both of you again.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I'm glad you come back. And next time, just turn your watch off. So
yeah, 100%.
Yes. Technical difficulties aside.
As long as you didn't come on like this.
Exactly. All right,
Lisa, have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
It was so great having her back.
I had so many more questions. I was like, darn it, the time's up already.
I know, we do that every week. And we're going to have to figure out a way around this. I don't know, because sometimes I almost feel like I cheated the guest because I didn't ask the right question or I didn't ask enough. But that's the nice thing. If they like us, they'll come back and visit us. So,
well, and I think a lot of people, they can learn about the books by reading the books as well. But I think a lot of people want to know about the author and who they are as a person and their journey and how they were inspired to write as well. So that's just as important as the book.
Yeah, that personal touch. That's true. It's true. All right, Jen, get your plug in for the first hours because this will be broke up into 2 hours. Where can they find your stuff?
Check out my website at jmshawauthor.com. I've got links to my books online. They're available through Amazon. through Amazon.com, Amazon.ca. They're available through Amazon in Australia. They're all on Kindle. The first 2 are on Kobo. The rest will be eventually. And on my website, you can find my links to my socials, Facebook and Instagram, so you can follow me along and see what else I'm writing.
Yeah, because you got more stuff coming out. So
yeah,
always. All right, everybody, hang on, because as you know, there's always an hour or two, and we will be right back. Thank you, WZQR and WRFN, and of course, our dear friends down in Australia. Let me push a button here.
Broadcasting across Australia on Dare Media Group radio stations, this is the Sportcat Show, uncovering secret chapters, strange encounters,
and the occasional technical mishap.
Now, we won't talk about those technical mishaps. Hello, everybody. Welcome to hour 2 of the Sportcat Show. If you missed hour 1, come back and find it under YouTube, under the Sportcat Shows. You're going to like it. And hello, by the way, WZQR, WRFN. I feel like I'm going to do this in triplicate sometimes. So as you know, we have 2 authors every night, and CB says maybe we do one at a time, but well, it's so hard. But our next author, tongue-tied. Our next author, Alison, is can't talk, is writing with Zero AI for an entire year.
Yeah, she did this challenge.
Yeah. So Alison McBain is her name. Let's bring her out here. She's been hiding back. Hello, how are you?
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself too. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I'm curious about this challenge that you did.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
Yeah, so what I did just when AI had first come on the scene, I wanted to bring attention to it. And I am not just an author for myself, I'm also a ghostwriter, I'm an editor. I've learned how to write pretty quickly for clients. So one thing that I wanted to do was sort of take on the human aspect of it. So I started this project called Author versus AI, where I was writing a book a week for most of a year. And then ended up, after doing this for most of a year, I ended up with 34 book drafts.
Good Lord.
That's almost a full year. Like there's 52 weeks in a year. That's more than halfway there.
That's true. I was planning on doing it for a full year. I got tired.
Understandably.
My brain would have fell out.
I mean, I like NaNoWriMo is difficult enough.
Yeah, and you know what? NaNoWriMo is no longer around because I don't know, maybe it exhausted itself.
Yeah.
How long was each of these books?
So I went by the classic definition of novels being 40,000 words and above, and they weren't much longer than 40,000 words. I think the most was like 46 or 47,000 words. So all of them, these were all first drafts. They all needed more work afterwards.
Did they follow each other, or were they total separate storylines in each?
I actually some were series, some had 2 or 3 books, but most were standalones.
How did you come up with that many ideas?
It took a lot of work. So I am a plotter as opposed to, a pantser writing by the seat of your pants. So basically I spent the 6 months before I started this project just coming up with ideas, doing chapter by chapter outlines, doing character sketches, like doing all the work. So basically I could just sit down every Monday and just get started writing and have my roadmap in front of me to, finish the book.
That seems like such detailed oriented work.
So you like planned for this the year before.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. It took
Wow.
from when I conceived of it, it wasn't a solo project to conceive of. Basically, I was talking to a friend of mine and about my ghostwriting, because I would write for clients a lot. Sometimes I had 2 or 3 clients that I was ghostwriting for at a time. And so I was writing 40, 50,000 words a week for clients. And he's an editor and author himself. And he was like, well, why aren't you doing that for yourself? You have books published, you have other things published. Why aren't you doing it for yourself? I was like, that's a really good point.
So for those who are listening or watching, can you explain to us what ghostwriting is?
Definitely. Yeah. Ghostwriting is basically an author, for whatever reason, can't write a book generally that they're contracted for by a publisher. So either the author or the publisher will reach out to an author who's a ghostwriter and ask them to either complete the book, sometimes write it from scratch, sometimes help them flesh out a book or fix problems that are in it that they can't fix themselves. So normally it's a partnership between authors. The ghostwriter just generally doesn't get credit. They get paid, but they don't get credit on the cover.
It almost sounds like a developmental editor.
Actually, the funny thing is that's sort of how it came about for me. I'm an editor, and one time I was working with a client and I delivered edits to the client, and they said, these are great. I don't think I can implement them. This is too much work. So they asked me to sort of step in and help them complete the edits. And I never back away from a challenge. So I said yes. And that's sort of how I started on the ghostwriting path. It's not really, you don't, from when you're young and you want to be a writer, you don't say, oh, but I want to be a ghostwriter too. It's just sort of something that you fall into sometimes, I guess.
Is it difficult to write in somebody else's voice?
Mostly it's fun. I don't take projects because, I do a lot of editing. That is the main thing that I do. I don't take on projects that I find that I would have a hard time stepping into. There are some voices I think that I could definitely not do because I couldn't identify with a character, right? But for sure, like that, if there's a project that calls to me, if there's a genre that I'm like, I'm very comfortable in this genre, I will definitely pick it up.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Do you hop from genre to genre?
Oh, 100%. Yes. Good stories are found everywhere. So it doesn't matter what the background is. You can find an awesome story that is set on an alternate world. You can find a great story on a spaceship or, looking at a dead body on the floor and trying to solve who killed them. There are great stories everywhere. So yeah, I write in all genres. There are ones I'm more comfortable in, of course. We all have our favorites, but
Yes.
yeah, I love a challenge. And yeah, when I was little, I always wanted to be a writer, and I always wanted to write a book in every genre, and I think I'm pretty darn close to accomplishing that.
Do you ever become invested in the person that you're ghostwriting for? Do you ever become invested in their story and like, I want to see where this goes?
Well, I do fiction, so I'm not doing the nonfiction telling someone else's story. But I love it. I've done series for
Mhm.
authors before, so I do become invested in the world often. There was one fantasy series that I did, which was so much fun, and I was really happy that it was a series, and I got to write. I can't remember. It was either 3 or 4 books in that series, and it was a lot of fun to step into that world and really develop the characters and spend some time with them.
Do you sit and at times kind of meditate, or how do the ideas and thoughts come to you that this is a good story?
Um, so this is something that other authors might hate me for saying, but I'm never short on ideas. I just, there are ideas all around. Like I read a lot, and that I think is a very key part of being an author. So I'm
Mhm.
always reading, especially nonfiction articles. So I will read in, everything from science articles to, articles about the weather or history or, archaeology. Like there's so many interesting things out there. So the problem, I guess, is like having too many ideas and not enough time to write
Yeah.
them all.
That was actually perfect for my next question. Is like, how do you balance everything between family, work, writing, creative? How do you balance everything?
Um, I I'm not 100% sure. It just sort of happens. Well, all my kids are creative too, and they're getting older now. So they all have their own projects. They all love to do art. In fact, my oldest, not this upcoming year, but the year after, is going away to school, and she wants to go to art school. And I know, back in my day when I was a kid, like parents would always say, no, don't go to art school. Instead, I'm like, yes, please, all of you go to art school. This is great. I want you to be creative. It's fabulous.
Yes, I remember growing up, and it's like, yeah, get a day job, but make it
Exactly,
a hobby.
or become a doctor, or become a lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, become an artist.
I kind of picture you like a literature voyager. You're like that Viking that is sitting there in the library ready to absorb anything. That's kind of the way I'm picturing the way you're talking about it, because it's fascinating. I don't know that I could come
drawing
up with
feather sword out of a feather pen out of the sheath of your hip. Instead of a sword, it's like a feather pen, ink pen.
Oh, definitely. I have those. I have a feathered pen, actually.
I have one I got as a gift, but it came with like little ink pot and stuff like. I'm just like, I'm gonna drop that. I'm gonna spill it. It's gonna make a disaster.
Oh, of course, yes.
I was actually just trying to read George Washington. He had written a document, and I was trying to read it today. I'm like, how the hell did they translate this guy?
It's like doctors, and they write and they scribble, and then you have to try to interpret it. It's like another language.
It definitely is, yeah. And a lot of people these days, like, they're not teaching cursive anymore in school, in a lot of schools. So basically, we're sort of at a huge turning point where a lot of people down the line won't, when these kids grow up, they won't be able to read a lot of these historical documents.
I'm thankful that my kids are learning cursive in school, but I was going to teach them
that's
it
great.
anyway. Yeah. I mean, like, how can you even sign your signature if you don't know how to write cursive?
That's true.
Yeah. Write a check. Well, I'm showing my age, but some place you still have to do that occasionally. So
yeah, it's like, do you just scribble so it looks good? And I don't know, they can't read them anyway, but still.
Well, of course, as authors, you're supposed to have a signature. So, or artists. Artists are supposed to sign their paintings.
Exactly.
Work. So it's very necessary.
Have you ever thought, I'm going to toss a real weird genre at you, a comic book?
The funny thing is, so I also have a webcomic that I do. And right now, so originally I just published them online. They were just for fun. As a parent, your kids can get up into all sorts of crazy things, and you can either laugh or you can cry. And I prefer to laugh. I find
Your
life
wrinkles.
hilarious. Yeah. So I started when the kids were young, I started drawing a comic called Toddler Times. And I would just put them out there. I had my own social media channel for them, and people really like them. I was surprised because I was like, I'm sort of like a Dilbert type of artist. I'm not super like my art is my words generally. But they're very simple drawings. But people like them. And now they're getting republished in a magazine, and I'm further expanding them. So when I hit a certain number, I'm going to put out a comic book.
Wow.
Did I hear her correctly that your kids were creating their, experiencing their creativity on the walls of your house? Expressing themselves through images.
Yeah. So when my kids were little, we got this sort of clunker of a house. It was definitely a fixer-upper. And so, we had planned on improving a lot of it over the years. And so I was like, have at it. I drew on the walls, they drew on the walls. It was totally okay. Like we were going to, eventually fix it up, remove some of these things. So, and I don't know, like I just keep that habit. So the kids can draw, they have their rooms, they can draw on the walls of their room. We have different doors, they can draw on those. So yeah, it's fun. If you feel like drawing, just express yourself. I think that's a great way to grow up.
It's a time capsule. too.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
And
true.
I mean, like, you can always paint over it. When I was younger, we moved into a house where one bedroom, and it looked very dark and like gothic because everything was painted black, but it was chalkboard paint on the walls and the ceiling,
Oh,
and it
nice.
was marked on all over the place.
Oh, I love that.
It's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
we tried to do that to a EMS room. We painted it completely black, and then they came and give us glow in the dark neon paint and said, "Nope, can't do it. Give us some color." So it was the girls' room. So they dipped their feet and they ran them up the wall. It was their room.
Oh, that's fun.
That's cute.
So, but yeah, it's like a time capsule, but you're going to never want to sell the house now.
Yeah, or paint over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this was a house way back when the kids were little, and we've since moved, so we did have to paint over some of it for sure.
Did you take
Oh.
pictures just to kind of?
Oh, yes. Some of the
Okay.
pictures are on my website.
Nice.
You should wallpaper over them, so in years from now, when they pull it out, and go, "Oh, it's a Rembrandt."
Oh, I love that. Oh, next time
Yeah.
I will do that.
Yes.
I like it.
Well, that's exactly why I've never deleted any stories that I've ever written, because I may go back to them and look at them and see how far I've come, and maybe notes will be worth something. You never know.
That's true.
Yeah.
And so, all right, so you're sending them to art school, so they're going to draw the comic book and you're going to write it. If you were a superhero, what superhero would you be?
Ooh.
And I already know you're going to be something really smart, like the brain. So.
I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Is there like a superhero that doesn't sleep? Because I don't sleep that much. This is how I can accomplish a lot of stuff.
Let's make a superhero that doesn't sleep.
I'm gonna
They
say
never have to
like
sleep.
Caffeine Girl.
No, Java Girl, because isn't that
Java.
another name? That
I like
sounds really
that.
cool.
Yeah, I like Java Girl.
Sounds more creative.
By day, she's a barista. At night, she's a superhero.
She can balance like nobody's business. Life, night, everything. You get more hours in the day. Can you imagine how many more hours in the day you would have if you did not have to sleep?
Oh, yeah, 24 hours. It would be awesome.
I'm glad I stumped you with that question, because I was trying to read you and I was like, wonder what superhero she would be. So I like that though, and it sounds stupid, but like you were talking about, you come up with these little tiny ideas. Just like we were spitballing, something could come from an idea like that, just sitting around the kitchen table even.
That's true. You never know. I might make it into my comic.
Exactly.
Java Girl might appear.
Yeah. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we already have one person that buys. CB was wanting to find your comics, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. So right now they're being republished in a magazine called Bewildering Stories, which is an online magazine. It's been around for over 20 years. So you can find all of them there.
Okay. Go ahead, Jen. Sorry, cut you off.
I was going to go back to the AI challenge that you did, the Sans AI. What inspired you to do that?
A lot of different things. So one, I talked about how I always have like tons of ideas and never enough time to write. So that was part of the inspiration, because it allowed me to sort of like try out all these ideas that were, hidden in my computer for so many years. But a bigger reason was because with AI sort of coming on the scene and people not knowing, I'm talking about the LLMs. And people not knowing how it was affecting creativity and being worried about it. I heard, especially because I work with so many authors, especially new authors, they were worried. They were like, well, why should I become a writer? Like the computer can just do it for me. You press a button and you have a book. Like, why should I continue with this dream of mine? And so I sort of wanted to have this be inspiring. Like, a human can take on this gargantuan task. It's like David versus Goliath, and stand up to the giant. Like the giant, like these companies are huge and they have tons of money and they're stealing authors' work. And there's a whole bunch of really bad stuff out there that you can focus on as a writer. But I don't know if you've been following the news, but there's been more and more backlash against it. There's been more and more people who want authors and artists to be compensated. And little by little, I feel like a lot of creators are regaining ground. And so this was sort of like me trying to open the conversation and to sort of keep the torch going as we navigate this really uncertain time for creators. And you can hear a lot of doom and gloom, but I'm a very optimistic type of person, and so I will keep on carrying on, until my last breath, I guess. So this was part of it, like to really push myself to be inspiring and sort of show people that there is a way forward.
Not to dive into any of the politics on all of that, but did you like continuing on that same line, did you surprise yourself? Like, were you surprised that you got as far as you did?
Yes and no. I had hoped to go all the way. I always take on these huge projects and say, I can do everything. And then I surprise myself when I don't do everything. But then I go on to the next big project. So I was hoping to do this for a full year. I wanted to do it for 52 weeks, do 52 books. I did fall short. But at the same time, at the end of that year, I did have 34 books. And that to me was an accomplishment. Yes, exactly. Just by itself. So I probably will not tackle this again anytime soon. I do need to get all of these books out there and published. But at the same time, I would not be adverse maybe in 10 years doing this again. At first, I was like, oh, I'll wait a couple years and then do it again. No, I think I need to put a pause on that. But I would try it again. I would love to succeed and actually do all 52 weeks.
Well, they say AI is getting smarter and smarter. And in fact, our government here in the States actually pulled the plug on something with AI in the military. They said it could break every code they ever thought about in like a minute. So they're like, no, let's pull you back. So are you afraid that one day it will get to be too powerful? Or like you said, and by the way, when you were saying that, songwriters were some of the first ones to push back.
Yeah, I mean, we're still navigating something that we're not 100% certain about. So even the creators of these large language models have said some cautionary things about them. So potentially it could get better. It is getting better. Like since it came out a couple years ago, it's gotten way better in a lot of different ways. But at the same time, writing is so personal. Writing is so about the individual experience. And LLMs are sort of the opposite of that. They're about taking multiple experiences and sort of condensing it down into sort of one sort of generic narrative. So there are people who can still see the patterns. This was created by AI because it has certain tells. Is it something that maybe the average person who is just picking up a book can see? Maybe not. Maybe they'll just enjoy the story, whether it's created by a human or AI. But I think it's still worth celebrating the human uniqueness, because you read a human story and you're like, okay, that is something that I can identify with. And AI might write some good prose, but I don't think it has that same human connection that a lot of us are looking for in what we read, what we consume from the creative world.
I agree. I feel like humans, because we feel emotions, we can put emotions into our stories, and that's what people connect with. Whereas AI isn't human, it can't experience feelings. And so then there's that disconnect at the end of the day.
Definitely.
I feel like it's a warmth. I mean, aside from the cold metal voice, I feel like it's a warmth when we can describe something as a feeling. A computer has never felt that.
Mm-hmm. So kind of hard to describe something you've never experienced.
That's true. Yeah. And that's one area that it falls short still.
Yes.
And you were saying people could see it. Are you one of those people that could look at something and go, ha, 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 sucker, I got you?
Yeah, I would say probably, I won't say that I'm 100% of the time, because who knows. But I do run a small press, and we do get a lot of submissions, and some of them you can definitely tell were not composed by people. And I'm also on the review board of another magazine. So again, some stories, when the review board members are talking, we're like, oh yeah, we think this was probably AI. So yeah, you read enough stories, you work with enough authors, I feel like usually you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
It's that personal connection. That's what I feel like. It's a personal. And some books you'll read, and it's like, if the book, when you finish putting it down, doesn't leave you feeling some sort of way. Does that make sense? It's
definitely.
Yeah, that's that emotional part.
Yeah. It could be AI. It could also be a writer who has not been able to sort of fully convey their what they want to say onto the page. So that could be another part of it. But yeah, there's still going to be the shining lights out there, the authors that we all love and adore and will follow.
When you go to the movies, what type of movie do you like to see? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Because she's all over the place with genres. I wanted to share like romance, war movies, westerns.
I like happy movies. So I do like romance. I also like comedy a lot, and especially if it's like action comedy, that is my jam. That I will always watch those.
Okay. I like it. Go ahead, Jen. Sorry, I won't cut you off again.
I was going to ask you about your some of your books. Like, what genres do you typically write in?
I do have a soft spot for fantasy and romance. I would say the majority of the ghostwriting that I've done is actually in the romance field, which might be surprising, but it's a huge industry. So sometimes contracts cannot be fulfilled, and they need someone to step in. But yeah, both of those to me, like I could do that in my sleep. I could write those genres in my sleep. But I also love to challenge myself. So during my project, I tackled genres I had never written before. And some of them were quite tough, I will say, to do.
Out of your, challenging your skills.
Exactly. I think some of the hardest ones, like Westerns. Westerns are problematic for me, just because they come from sometimes a very problematic colonial viewpoint. So trying to incorporate that with my background, with how I saw it, and still make it a fun story was very tough to navigate. And especially, it's also historical, so you have to do a lot of research for those type of stories too.
In your romances, are they spicy type romances, or are we talking like type stuff?
In my heart, I love the sweetheart romances where it's, they kiss at the end, and that's
everything's
I have I must say I have written spicy romances for ghostwriting clients. It's not my comfort zone, but I have done it.
Fair. That's fair.
Well, what is your background in, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, like my cultural background, you mean?
Like what, career-wise, like, education-wise? Yeah.
Oh, sure. So, again, that's something that you might guess is all over the place. So I currently live in Canada, but I'm a dual citizen. So I had one American parent and one Canadian parent. So I grew up in California and went to school there, and I got a double major in African history and classical literature. Um, And after that, I had my whole career planned. I was going to go on and get my PhD and become a history professor, and the best laid plans. You know what they say about them. So I took a year off and then worked a whole bunch of very odd jobs. Everything from working in a ballroom dance studio to being a bartender. I worked at a, SAT prep company. I worked for a kids soccer place. So I gained a lot of life experience before I, settled down, had my own family. And I think a lot of that was fun, and some of it was terrible, and it informed my stories so well. Like having that, both good and bad experience, working tons of different jobs, encountering so many great people, awful people, it informs your life experience. I like to say I didn't become an author before, I hit my 30s because I didn't know enough about the world. I'd always written, but I needed more life experience to really make my characters feel authentic.
I'm a firm believer that all of our experiences kind of build us into the person that we are today. But I do remember growing up and being, hearing from my teachers, from parents saying, don't write, only write about those things you know. I write fantasy fiction. I don't know about that world. So, but how am I supposed to do that? But you can imagine things, and you get enough life experiences. It makes it easier to imagine things. And if it comes down to it, books are relationships.
That's true. I mean, you could just hop on your dragon and go flying off and then write about that, but that might be
I've never ridden on the back of a dragon, but I have been on a plane, and I can kind of imagine the feeling,
Exactly.
wind in the hair, that kind of stuff. So
I feel like it would be more like skydiving though, like riding on a dragon.
probably,
So
yeah.
jump out of a plane and maybe you'll come close.
No, thank you.
Exactly.
Like my character, I'm terrified of heights. But yeah.
Is that time you took off, did you do a lot of traveling too with the odd jobs?
Not a ton of traveling. So I did a little bit in a couple places in Europe, but I've traveled all over the US, all over Canada. But yeah, I've stuck it more, closer to North America, I would say. But I love road trips. Road trips are fantastic. You get to see so much. And the different countries here, they're so different from coast to coast. And a lot of people, stay in their own sphere or hop a plane and don't see the in between. I think the journey is part of what I love. So, and I'm trying to force my kids. My kids are not as big a fan of road trips as I am, but I try to force them. I'm like, okay, let's plan a trip, but then let's wander off and let's look at things and let's see what we can see along the way. And that's where we have the most fun.
I remember talking to my kids this morning. This is kind of off topic, but we were talking about a documentary we were watching about Frank Slide, Turtle Mountain. And they were watching it and they was like, whoa, that's cool. I said, hey, did you guys know that I actually went to that place and saw it after the fact? That you went there? I was like, yes, it's not that far away. We can go there too.
Yeah, that's fun.
And they were really excited about that, so I think I gave them a little bit of the travel bug.
Oh, good. Yes. Keep it going.
Yeah, I'm about traveled out. I was a flight paramedic and I was around the world for 10, 17, I don't know, a long time. And Dad, just keep me at home now. I don't want to go. Traveled out. But you are right. Meeting different people, whether you're just a coffee shop or walking down the street, being from the South, I've never met a stranger, so I would always talk to people. So as a paramedic too, we're kind of forcing ourselves upon you if you're a patient or a person that's called 911. So you kind of got to be a people person, but the different stories and the different things that you'll just pick up here and there.
Mm-hmm. And I know when you're talking about the travel bug too, sorry, stuck on that topic. in that excitement about getting in, packing for a trip to go somewhere, that's the same excitement I feel when I want to start a new book. When I get an idea, a creative idea, and I want to start a book on this and see where it plays out. So it's kind of like going on an adventure, whether you're traveling in real life in a vehicle or you're traveling through words on the page.
That's for sure, and it's a lot cheaper.
Arguably, yeah. I always say that
Yeah.
it's my therapy because it's cheaper. It's cheaper than therapy.
Definitely.
Alison, when you are sleeping, do you dream books too, or have you ever dreamt a book?
Yeah, I'm one of those weird people. So in my dreams, I am very seldom myself. I am often, like I'll be a pirate. I'll be, sometimes creatures like a dragon, ascending flying up in the sky. So yeah, sometimes I take inspiration from my dreams. In fact, one of the first books, I never finished it, but one of the first books that I started writing when I was a teenager was based on a dream. Um, and yeah, they can definitely be inspiring, I think.
Do you keep a dream journal?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
A dream journal?
Yeah.
Oh, dream journal. I don't. I really should, because right after you wake up, like you're like, oh my goodness, that was so vivid, that was so fun. And then like 5 seconds later, well, the kids need to, you need to wake up the kids and you feed them breakfast and get them off to, and so yeah, you lose them. But yeah, that would make sense. That would be smart to have a dream journal.
I had somebody ask me a similar question, and it was like, do you ever get dreams and then you write your stories, like you dream stories? And I said, well, yeah, I have vivid dreams as well. I do tend to write down ideas, but the plots are all over the place. So they don't really make for a good story.
Well, sometimes you can pull out elements. Like you're like, okay,
Yeah,
that
like
was really
scenes,
cool. That part right up until it was like a whole other scene. So yeah, you
Yeah,
can
a
pick up
shift
something.
into another world. Yeah. Like
Exactly.
scenes. I figure like scenes I can make out of it. Or if there's a general theme, or sometimes it's a mood or an idea. Yeah, you're right. There's certain things you can pick out, but writing a whole story from a dream, I think that would be very difficult.
Yeah.
I think they seem in your sleep like they're so long, but if you actually sat down and looked at it, you're only asleep, that REM sleep, for like 15 minutes at a time here and there. So it seems like when you come out of it, but like you said, that short-term memory, boom, well, it's got I forgot that. But it seems like you're immersed in that world, like you're the time traveler, like you were saying, you're a pirate, you're a whatever dragon.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of makes you think, I wonder if the past lives are a real thing.
Yeah,
Or maybe
right?
it's just because I read a whole bunch. I don't know. And that influences my dreams. Who knows? Who knows where they come from?
There's a lot of dream theories out there, but nobody really knows.
Yeah.
That's true. So, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with her. I said, yeah, that's.
I was going to ask you about you have a book out, a recent book, or is this one the new Empire?
Oh yeah, that was my latest book. And it's an alternate history, and it asks the what if question on for if you go back to history, the Europeans came over and colonized the Americas, but what if the Chinese had gotten there first? How would that have changed history? So, but it was a lot of fun to research.
I used to do that when I was a kid. Like, what would our life be like if certain things didn't happen? So, I think we're on the same wavelength at some point.
Yeah, it's fun though, because,
Sorry.
sometimes history hinges on one key moment. And, you can go down that rabbit hole. Like, what if this one thing was changed? It could change everything. It's
Oh,
amazing.
it would. Yeah. I think that's a paradox effect, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, history is important. I take it. You studied history, you write history. What is it that draws you to it?
There are, just like I can get inspired anywhere, history has all of the stories of people. And many of them are emphasized over others. So, like, people have written endlessly about World War II, for example. It's recent. A lot of people were affected. They might have relatives affected by that. So people have written that endlessly. But there are so many parts of history that, while we know about, people haven't really explored them or, thought about what made up that moment, that country, that people. So there are so many untapped stories there. And it's, all available for people to, like me, to read, research, write about. Um, which is one reason why I was so excited to study African history in school, because a lot of it is not emphasized in, the American school system. And there were so many fascinating stories, and that has definitely informed a lot of my writing too. Finding those historical uh, nuggets of gold that are unexplored in a lot of other people's writing.
Yeah, because there has to be a lot of like history that isn't told, like hidden history or forgotten histories. And is there an era that really attracts you?
Um, Not so much an era. There are different, um, I don't know. I just like to read a lot and see something that was very pivotal or big or really influential at the time, but has sort of been forgotten nowadays. So I like to find those, like, wow, this totally blows my mind that this whole civilization exists and we never learned about it in school. We don't talk about it. I can find hardly any books about it. So where can I find out that information? And so then I'll go down that rabbit hole and try to find out as much as I can.
You find that one character, the unsung or the character that doesn't have a voice, and you try and put yourself in them and pull their story out. Is that something you feel like you can easily do once you find somebody you connect with, or a character, a person that you can put yourself in their shoes and see history from their point?
Definitely. And this is also one reason why I write fiction as opposed to nonfiction. Nonfiction is actually something that I tend not to write that much about, other than a few personal stories, essays, that kind of thing. Um, because there's so much we don't know about different periods of history and different people who lived and died in the past. So the only way to explore it is to, well, fill in the gaps, I would say, because we might never know about certain cultures.
Mhm.
We have puzzle pieces, and we can put together what we think is the full picture, but we'll never actually know. And so that's why it's fun to explore in fiction for me, because you can recreate a whole society, and you might get some parts wrong, of course, but it brings it to life. It brings something that happened 500, 1,000, 2,000 years ago to life for someone today, and that's pretty amazing.
How much research has to go into a historical fiction?
A lot.
So how much is it, like how much is historical and how much is fiction?
It depends on the writer. So, like, this is something you'll get together a whole bunch of historical writers, and they will argue about this endlessly. So some are like, you have to really stick to it, and you can just make up one person or something. And others will be, and I'm more along this camp. No, you can change everything. Like, just make sure, like, the details of what they wore on their feet is correct. So so when I was my last book was alternate history, which means I completely changed the timeline. So I had a lot of leeway, but I still wanted to make sure, because I was mixing a whole bunch of different cultures, like the Haudenosaunee from North America with the Chinese, with the Amamutsen from California. So basically, I was mixing a whole bunch of different cultures and people, and I wanted to make sure that I got the details of each part of that correct as we knew them. So that's where my research came in. Most of the people were made up. There was no character that I knew of called Jianxi. That is someone that I created to be my main character. But yeah, other than that, it's all true.
Do you get a lot of feedback or maybe pushback from fans or?
Not as far as I know.
There's no fact checkers going on
well,
there.
no, there are fact checkers. I mean, I worked with the publisher for my book, and they had a copy editor. But I haven't. I try not to read my reviews. I don't know about you guys, but it can be great to read a positive review from a fan. But it can also be disheartening, as a smaller time author to have someone who really did not connect, shall I say, with your work. I haven't heard anyone, no one's asked. I go to different conventions, I talk, I do workshops. I haven't had anyone come up to me and say, "You were completely wrong about this." But I've had friends who write historical fiction who have had that experience where someone will, come up to them and say, "Okay, well, you wrote about Vikings and you wrote about, time travel and, you know, I could accept the time travel, but you got this thing about the Viking ship wrong." So I've had friends who have had that experience with their work. So yeah, some people read very closely and really enjoy the details of historical fiction.
There's mean people out there.
Yeah, there's going to be people that are just looking to complain about something or to point out something. Yeah. I know. I take it. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say we all love our own little things. And
Mhm.
so if there's something that you really love and you know a lot about and you read something and someone got it completely wrong,
Yeah,
you're going to be burning. You're going to be like, I need to tell them this
it's
is
true.
wrong.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. Yes, well, I'm along the same boats. I will read my reviews sometimes, but for the most part I do tend to try to stay a little bit distant from them because they can be discouraging. Sometimes they can be really uplifting as well.
Yes.
Sometimes they're just personal opinions, like they didn't like your book because they thought your main character was a loser. Not very helpful.
No, not a lot to go on there.
Yeah.
Like I said, people are mean. So, and some people accept criticism better than others. So, me, it would really bother me if somebody, and I get with the show here, they'll come and say, "Man, your show sucks." Well, I kind of take that personal. It's just, but you have to start letting it roll off after a while. So,
But at the same time, too, you don't want to alter your writing to try to appease everybody. Otherwise, you lose the reason you're writing.
Yeah,
still gonna be
that's
you.
true. Yeah.
Mhm.
Although I feel like most writers, because writing is such a solitary pursuit, a lot of times we're basically telling ourselves stories, because when you're
Yeah,
sitting down
yeah.
and writing, you're not interacting with your reader. You interact
Mhm.
with your reader essentially after your work is published, and it
Yeah.
can't be changed. So a lot of times you're just telling yourself what you think you want to hear. So yeah, if you're trying to write to your reader, you will never find the ideal voice
Mhm.
because your readers are so diverse.
Exactly, yeah.
They
I
keep
was
things.
gonna you cannot please everybody.
Yeah.
You'll drive yourself crazy trying. I was intrigued by your bio per se. But you said that you like to do something creative every day. What does that look like to you?
Um, well, I do I do a lot of different things. So in addition to doing, the comics and the writing, and the drawing with my kids, I think anything that sort of takes you out of yourself can be creative. So like baking cookies can be creative. Like, making up recipes can be fun or disastrous. Um, and I do a lot of handcrafts too. So knitting, crocheting, I sometimes volunteer at the library and teach classes. Like I just did one, I think a month ago about, how to make origami. So yeah, there, there's so many things out there. And I think, um, the impetus behind that is basically to keep learning. And I think if
Mhm.
you just always keep your mind open to new things and new experiences, you're gonna, feed the beast, which is your creativity.
So I know
You
you
talk,
said that you don't struggle with sorry, Glenn. You don't struggle with ideas, coming up with ideas and stuff, but is there like you don't typically struggle? Is there any times when you do struggle, and then how do you kind of overcome that?
I don't know about you guys. I'm a procrastinator. So when I struggle is when there's a deadline. And I
Fair
have to
enough.
force myself, and I do, like I do force myself to go towards that deadline. So and it's not because I don't love writing. Writing is like my happy time. I could write since we're talking about 24 hours a day. I could write 24 hours a day and be happy. But as soon as you stick a deadline in my face, it is so hard. I want to do anything but.
See,
So
I'm the
I'll go.
my
You're the opposite.
ADHD is the opposite. Yeah, I will dawdle and I will procrastinate, but you give me a deadline, I'm all laser focused.
Yeah, I have to make myself have deadlines. Like, so I have to sort of, okay, you can clean the house a little bit and then you will go, the next hour you're going to go towards that deadline. But I like to do what I call productive procrastination. So I will usually have more than one project going at a time. And so what this allows me to do is to actually complete things. So I will have, let's say I have, 2 or 3 editing clients. The one that is due first, I normally don't get to first. I will get to the one that's due second, and then I will go back to the one that is due first. So, I do tend to work best when I'm sort of challenging myself that way. Um, yeah, it's hard. If I don't know where the procrastination gene comes from. It sucks a lot, but yeah, you got to figure out what works for you.
It's true.
you said when you were thinking about other creative things, cooking. You ever written a cookbook?
I have thought about I'm oh man, I do burn things because I get distracted. So I'm a good cook when I'm focused. And I love to bake, but yeah, I my kids would tell you like if I get too many things going, they're getting burnt toast for breakfast. But
Oh, toast is tricky though, anytime.
it's true, and I just got a new toaster and I'm still learning it, so, like, it's like, you turn around and all of a sudden the toaster's on fire. It is not my fault.
Yeah, it's like you gotta split the atom to get the right temperature.
Exactly.
I just got an email today from my stove. It said it's time for service. And I'm like, how did my stove get my email address? Wait a minute. Why is my stove emailing me?
My
I'm assuming
furnace
it's
tech
invested. I have no idea.
my furnace texted me today, said it needed its filter changed.
My goodness. Man. It's coming to life.
That's right. We were talking about AI. It's already here.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're already in the Jetsons.
It's funny, and it crept up on us, like, at first
Yeah.
it's a smart fridge, and then it's like, your car's talking to you, and all of a sudden, you're not making any decisions, and your appliances are, have staged a mutiny. I don't know.
I I don't mind if my appliances want to like coordinate and cook me dinner, though. I'm not going to complain about that. I really don't like cooking.
Yeah.
I'm with
I
you
mean,
on that. I just not a good cook. I mean, I'm a good cook, but I just don't like it.
but this is the thing. So, like, when people, when you all these articles about these robots come out and about, they created these robot dogs and they can be used in war and there are these drones and all of this kind of stuff. So much pushback was like, no, we don't need more of this kind of thing. What we need is something that will do our laundry. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do my laundry. I want a robot doing that for us.
Yeah.
Speaking
I
of the
want
Jetsons.
something I don't want something to like I think it was said, I can't remember when it was said, but it was early on in this AI thing was I don't want somebody to invent something to take over my creative writing. I want something to take over the chores in the house so I have more time to write.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But of course it goes for the thing that we don't want it to. So
Exactly. Exactly.
Actually, did a story today on my radio show talking about technology. They had a guy that was holed up in a garage. He was waiting on the police officers to come in. He was going to ambush them. They sent this little drone in and they saw him hidden in there. So they brought the drone out and the officers saw he had a knife in his hand. So one of the officers said, well, can the drone pick it up? And he said, no. And then another officer said, I bet it would if you put a magnet on it. So they tied this is a redneck story. I swear to God, this came out of California. They tied a rope and a magnet on it and they flew it in there and they dropped it down and yanked that knife out of his hand and flew out. And
wow.
So sometimes
That must have been a mighty strong magnet. See, that's creativity at its best.
Exactly. Yeah.
No way this is going to work. There's that one officer out there going, yep, I'm betting you if you put a magnet on that thing, doing it in the Southern drawl because you know it had to be a redneck. I'm sorry.
But you know, because of that, they're going to be inventing like accessory magnets to put on the bottom of drones.
That's the next step.
So just give me a story idea there. But I mean, it's the silly things.
Can you imagine what this poor dude was thinking? He's sitting there with a knife ready to go. You're hearing a buzzing. Oh, there's an insect in here. All of a sudden, wait, what? Sorry, I had to go there.
Writing it from his point, hearing it from his point of view would have been much more entertaining. But well, except for me, like I said, I put it in the redneck voice. I'm like, I bet you if you put a rope on that damn thing. So
you switched point of views. So
yeah, I was in Tennessee too long. Sorry. It just slips out. Alison, we always ask our guests, have you ever had a spooky story, anything scary, seen a Bigfoot, anything like that?
Does living in a haunted house count?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I believe in any of this. And I lived in a house that many would consider haunted for about 10 years. It was in New England. So multiple things happened that were straight out of a horror movie.
Like during your time there or before?
During our time there.
Our time there.
So this was the fixer-upper that we drew on the walls of. So for example, and this is just a partial list. So we had bats fly into the house multiple times down the chimney, and one actually bit my sister when she was visiting. We had snakes in the basement. We had the curtain in the master bedroom would open by itself when no one was there, and it was usually overnight. I'd close it at night, and it would be open when I woke up. The lights in the main bedroom would flicker on and off. When I would say stuff like, stop, they would stop. The radio would turn on and off by itself. We got a new radio. It did the same thing. We moved it, did the same thing. And we found bones buried in the yard. At night, there was the sound of screaming, and it was like, coming from the basement, and you'd open the door and it would stop. So like,
you're brave.
There's so many things. Oh, and also, the best thing is the previous owners. So the previous owners were this older couple, and they were, again, straight out of a horror film. So when we got the house, like we were, there were a lot of odd things about the house that they had done themselves. So for example, the kids' bedrooms doors had like outside locks on them. And when they left all the keys for us, they left a note saying for when the kids are bad, to lock them. Yes, I know. This is like, we were like, oh my God, what? There were also weird stains on the kids' floors. Like it was very, very creepy. We're like, okay. But one time we had a flood in the basement. This is sorry if this isn't longer than you're expecting. And there were cabinets downstairs in the basement. It was an unfinished basement. So, worried about mold from the flood, we ripped out the cabinets, and built into the cabinets. There was no way to get to these. They had to be built in. Were these large like red candles that had been built into them when they were burning because the wicks were blackened and they were partially melted, and they were built into the wall basically. So someone before us, probably the previous owners, had someone come in and perform an exorcism in the house. So
guess it didn't work.
I guess it didn't work. So we basically like replaced everything we possibly could in the house, and weird things kept happening. And so we moved.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good choice. When you were doing the construction, was it worse? Because I've heard people say if you're tearing up something that pisses them off and it gets worse. Did you notice anything like that?
Well, it kept on happening. So like we got construction because we're doing this very logically. We're like, okay, the lights are flickering, it must be the electrical. Let's replace the electrical. Then they did, and then it kept on happening. So then we also had different leaks. Like so they'd say, okay, this leak is happening in this house because the pipes are bad. We replaced all the pipes. Still happened. Okay, the roof is bad. We replaced the roof. Still happened. Okay, the windows are bad. So like literally rebuilding that house from the inside out. And it did not stop everything. Like things kept on happening. So there are unexplained.
No.
Yeah. So it was very weird. It was an interesting time, and it inspired many stories.
I bet.
I can't imagine. Did it scare your kids?
Yes, it did. Yeah, there were certain areas of the house they did not like to go in, and they don't remember much. They were much younger then, but they do remember like the house felt. How they described it was it felt heavy and dark, and so they did not like it.
Interesting. Well, that whole area up there in New England, there's a lot of old spooky houses. So yeah.
Yeah, it was an older house too. So
wasn't it where Amityville? Wasn't Amityville Horror written about a house up there?
Yep.
I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, I was thinking it was a New England story. Alison, we can only keep you for an hour because, well, Mickey would beat us with a wet noodle. But we want to make sure that you tell everybody where they can find you if they want to get in touch with you, or maybe use your services, or absolutely buy your books, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. So everything is on my website. It's AlisonMcBain.com. And I like to say it's Alison with one L, the less common spelling, I think. And all my socials are there, my email, if anyone wants to reach out. I'm always happy to chat, even about the haunted house.
Well, you're going to have to come back and visit us again. And I'm not going to say when you write your next book, because by the time we get back to you, you've written 20 probably. So
definitely. I love that.
Yeah, I do hope you come back. And having a great night. And I guess we will talk to you soon. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, it was our pleasure.
It was a pleasure. Yes.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Oh, man.
I can't believe they were brave enough to open the door. If you hear somebody screaming in your basement, I'm out the front door.
Out. Get out. Nope, I'm out. Nope, I'm out. Well, I grew up in a haunted house too, but that's a whole other story.
I grew up in, I worked in hospitals, and all hospitals are haunted, so I saw some
yes they are.
But yes, I grew up in a haunted house as well. Not quite that haunted, but
I've run haunted calls too, so yeah. So, so next week you're off. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. It'll just probably be me. I'm thinking Harley's going to try to pop in. So, but we have two great authors, Eric Fisher. He's a karate guy, and Maria. Ooh, we'll just call her Maria because I'm probably going to butcher it. And she's written some educational books for some hearing impaired people. So we're looking forward to that. So make sure to tune in on that. Jen, where can they find you, get in touch with you, stalk you, all that good stuff?
Yes, jmshawauthor.com is the best place to start. My website. You can see my books. You can find the links to them online. They're available on Amazon as a print, all on Kindle. First couple are on Kobo. The rest will be eventually. And then you can find links to my Instagram and Facebook, so you can follow me, see what I'm doing, what I'm writing. I also got a link to Goodreads, so you can see what other people are saying about my books.
Cool. Very good. Everybody go check out our authors and Jen. And of course, come over here to the Sportcat shows and hit that subscribe button. We are here every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then Brenda and I will be back doing the Sportcat Daily Gazettes probably Friday. So we'll see. So I'm not setting another date. So oh, so Brenda says we won't be back Friday. Okay. All right. Well, there you have it from the boss. So
I thought that was more, there's no exclamations. It could be, no, you're leaving. No. Show's over.
Yeah, no. Brenda's no, she gets tired of me. So
now she's just confusing. No, yes, no.
I don't know. It's just getting me dizzy. So
wait, what?
Too many women in my life. We'll be back soon. You're off next week. Brenda and I will be back Friday, Monday. I don't know. Sometimes